Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas and welcome to the third video in the Beginner's Guide to Unity 6. This time we'll be covering prefabs and game objects. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with every tutorial I upload. Feel free to leave a comment and drop a like. I also have a Patreon page where you can help be a part of this channel, and you'll also find all the scripts and the assets to this series there too, along with plenty of other things. You can also now join as a free member. Now, on with the tutorial. So, prefabs. Prefabs are a way of storing information in a singular game object. What do I mean by that? Well, these bricks that we have laid out here can easily be manipulated to be a single game object in our project window down here. For convenience, it means that we can drag and drop all three of these bricks in one single go. How do we do that? Very simple. We need to create an empty game object to contain the information. So if we go to game object and click on create empty, let's call this brick wall. The next thing to do would be to center it in the correct position. For example, at the moment our brick wall is here. We can theoretically create the prefab as it stands now, however we want this to be as relative and normal as possible. So what we'll do is we'll attach this empty game object called brick wall into this middle object for our bricks. And we can do that by dragging and dropping on the hierarchy. Now what we've done here is create a parent and child situation. Whenever you couple things in the hierarchy, they become parent and child. For example, brick wall is now a child object of brick 1. If we were to do it the other way around, which we will do shortly, it would become a child object of brick wall. So next, let's put this as 0, 0, 0. And what this will do is rather than put the object at the center of the scene, it will put it at the center of whatever the parent object is. In this case, it's put it in the center of brick 1. Next, let's drag and drop brick wall out of brick 1 and let's place it here below ground. It's now become its own separate object again. Next, let's take brick, hold control, select brick 1, hold control again and select brick 2, and let's drag and drop these into brick wall. And it will place all three inside brick wall. This is now the parent object, and you can see the blue outline here represents everything that is encompassed inside itself, i.e. brick, brick 1, brick 2. It means we can still move these objects like so if we wanted to. I'm going to hold control, press Z to undo. But it does also mean that if we move the brick wall, which is the parent object, it moves all three at once. Hold control, press Z to undo. This is not quite a prefab just yet. It's a collection of game objects. So let's go to our asset folder here. Let's right click, create, folder. Let's call this prefabs. Let's go into the prefabs folder. And now let's drag and drop brick wall into the project window. So far we've only dragged things out of project window. The only things we've dragged in is assets from a folder. Well, you can actually drag things from the hierarchy into the project folder to create an asset. So let's drag and drop brick wall and you'll notice a color change as we do. This is now turned blue. This means that this itself is now a prefab that links to this prefab itself down here. And if we click the arrow next to brick wall, it means that this brick wall right here is all three of those game objects. And what we can do is we can take this brick wall here, drag and drop it into Unity right there. Let's set the 0 position. And now let's rotate it by 90 degrees on the Y. There we go. So now we've got this situation where we have a possible corner. So let's take this. Let's hold control and move up on the Y and move across on the Z and move this way. Now we have what looks like a segment. I guess it looks a bit like a prison wall, doesn't it? But we can easily change and manipulate so many things using prefabs inside Unity. And it's not just walls that you could do it with. You could theoretically do it with this ground here. So I'm going to show you just how quickly you could create something like this. So I'm going to take ground, hold Control, press D. I'm going to shift it over here. Hold Control, press D again, shift it down here. Hold Control, press D again, shift it across. And now I'm going to select ground, 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 and game object, create empty. We'll have this as ground. And let's take those and place them inside ground. And then let's drag and drop ground into prefabs. And we now have a ground prefab. That is huge. Naturally, there is different ways of doing things like this. You could make the object larger and you could use some tiling on the materials. However, we're not going to do that. I do that in other tutorials when they are relevant to what we're trying to do. At this point, we're happy that we have just created a prefab right here. So we also want to talk about game objects. So at this point, we've only imported textures. Let's try importing something else. Let's go to Assets. Let's right click, create a new empty folder, and let's call it something simple like Objects. And let's go into this Objects folder. And I'm going to drag and drop these two folders into Unity. As with the last one, you can go to the pinned comment or the description, and there will be a link in there where you can go and download these for free. Cost you absolutely nothing. Just remember to unzip them before you try importing them into Unity 6. Now, hopefully, when you import this, you should get this down here. So the reason you've got this is Unity itself sees the objects you're trying to import as a possible problem, but they're not. So if you go to console, you should see a couple of things here. Now, I've specifically chosen these two models so we can talk about the console in this particular part. Now, what this is referring to is the models were built in 3D Studio Max, and it cannot find the representative files within the folders that we've imported. That doesn't matter because this isn't 3D Studio Max. We're not going to manipulate those. So that error, although looks serious, doesn't matter at all. We also have a couple of FBX warnings and mesh warnings. Basically, this is Unity saying that it can't find some things, so you're going to have to maybe recreate them yourself in Unity, but that's fine. If these errors appear, you just need to click on Clear. They don't affect the playability of our game at all. So back on Project and go to Objects, and let's take a look at this fence. If we go into that folder, we can see a couple of different objects. They have their own textures right here, and we have these two right here. These are also prefabs. So a game object and a prefab are very, very similar to each other. These are game objects that have been coupled inside 3D Studio Max or any other 3D development software. Generally in Unity, in game objects, you don't create them in Unity. You create them in something like Blender, Maya, 3D Studio Max, and you would import those game objects into Unity. That is how it all works. So if we were to drag and drop this game object into our scene, we'd be able to see it looks rather small. If we zoom in, we can see it's incredibly small. Its scale is not relative to the size of our game. However, we can change that. Remember over here where we have the transform component? Well, let's set it back to the center of our scene so we get a good visibility of it. And let's increase the scale. Let's have this as 100 by 100 by 100. And this is a great way of showing that it doesn't matter what size objects actually are because they are manipulated inside Unity. You could make very, very small objects inside your 3D modeling studio and increase the size in Unity. Now, ultimately, this is good for larger game projects because the actual model size itself, in terms of megabytes, would be smaller than having a fence the size it is here. So what can we do with this particular fence? Well, we can take a look at it here and scroll down. You'll notice we have the material unobtainable. So some objects you can manipulate quite easily, and there's a lot of things you can and can't do inside Unity depending on what your settings are like. I'm going to just turn the camera this way for now and just bring our fence upwards. I'm then going to let go of control and just gently bring it down to there. Next, let's take a look at the other game object. Now you'll notice this one in particular has a different layout inside of the folder, and we can drag and drop this here. And this one is oversized. So these two assets that we've imported are intentional to kind of show a point of this particular video. If we scroll down to here and click the arrow, you'll notice that we have plane and tube. If we double click tube, you'll notice that there is the asset itself. When bringing this particular asset into Unity, or when it's been created inside a 3D development studio, it has left this ground plane. Now, if we try pressing delete, we can get rid of it. If we double click on bridge again, it looks a bit more relative to the size of what we're doing here. If we double click ground, you'll see the bridge is still far too big. So let's change the size. So rather than have 100 by 100 by 100 like we did with the fence, we can change this to 0.1, 0.1 and 0.1. It still looks quite large. However, we can now set the position to 0, 0, 0, and let's drag this across this way. We can zoom in a little. Let's bring it down to match roughly with the ground and bring it this way. And now we can see that things look a bit more relative to what we're doing. Now, this particular game object itself, there is a lot more that we can do with it. And what we'll do in the next segment is we'll talk about lighting and shadows. That's the reason why, at the moment, our fence over here looks like that. So I wanted to keep our camera looking this way. Like I said, light and shadows play a huge part when it comes to development inside Unity 6. And that is what we'll get to next time. So, if you wouldn't mind, remember to subscribe and click that notification bell to stay up to date with every tutorial I upload. And I'll see you next time.